always lose my glasses, so I picked up some at the convenience store. Got some side views so the sun can't get me on this side. You know, our powwow was this weekend, Makwasagagan First Nation, and this weekend I went to Manito Ahbee in Winnipeg, and it's such a big decision because when you live in Alberta, that trip is far, like super far, and it's a lot closer for me to go to my home community. And the reason why I didn't go to my home community powwow, I was getting a lot of questions at Manito Ahbee. Hey, how come you're not at Loon Lake powwow? Well, you know, in a powwow, there's so many roles you could do. You got the organizer, you know, the organizer's doing all the thinking, putting all the pieces together. You got, you know, your MCs, you got your arena directors, you got your drum judge, you got your whole team, your accountants, your payroll, your volunteer, organizer, manager, someone that's working on sponsorship. But there's a real special role as well, and it's called the head dancer. And the head dancer, you represent all the dancers. You know, you're a voice for them. You're also leading by example. You're out there every intertribal, you're dancing hard, you're leading the grand entry, you're dancing hard, you're showing everybody, you know, what you should be doing as a dancer. And also you're a voice for the dancer. You know, maybe the dancer couldn't register, so you go up to registration with that dancer and you say, hey, let's help this guy out. Another thing about being a head dancer, it's such a big role, is you know, it's a chance to give back to the powwow circle. The reason why we decided to make the decision to go all the way to Manito Ahbee is because my nephew, he's a real special man, young man, real good, head on his shoulders. My sister, my niece Style, Chris, you know, they did a really good job in raising a good young man. Camden Scribe, he is the head young dancer for Manito Ahbee powwow, you know, representing all the dancers that were out there. And so me and my family, we decided, you know what, let's go support our my nephew, my Toshka, go and support him. He did an amazing job. You know, a lot of things that you might not know about him is, you know, what I think about him is he's real dedicated to living a good life, education. His dad is a big educator. He's a doctor in education, and so, you know, he's naturally gonna have that, you know, that education as the buffalo, you know, as a way to guide him. So he's dedicated in the sciences. And what I know about him is, you know, biking 5 kilometers a day, you know, even through the winter to go to school, you know. And he's in sports, volleyball and basketball, doing really amazing things, but he's at the powwow representing. So we went to the powwow, long drive, and you know what? It was before the powwow started. It was such a nice like plus 20s, plus 25 weather. So I didn't pack any warm clothes, but when I got there, man, it was cold. It was so cold, windy, rainy. You know, I decided to go early, and we got this Airbnb. It was a nice little apartment, and I guess, you know, there wasn't too much things available. I know some people, when I went there, they slept in their vehicles, but you know, we managed to find this little apartment. It was nice. It was a character home. It had this you know, enough room for us, you know, the bunk beds, our main room, kitchen, and a porch. It was a nice little feeling, nice area. Got there early. Wednesday, we drove Wednesday, got there Thursday, stayed in Regina one night. The reason why I went there early is because the Friday they had a men's fancy special. You know, I went and tried that out. I wanted to get the legs warmed up before contest. Dancing that special, it was pretty awesome. Didn't make top 5 or nothing, you know, but I had a good time when dancing there. The next day though, you know, it started early, noon o'clock, and then, you know, just watching my nephew do his thing, you know, leading the dancers, leading the grand entry was such an awesome feeling to see. And then to be there to support his special with all our family that was there, that made the trip to be there, you know, it was just really good support for our young man, you know, leading You know, being a really good example of a young boy, everything you'd want a young boy to be, you know, healthy, making good decisions and leading the way. Then I got, you know, the one thing about the powwow, it was super packed. You know, I think, you know, comment below if you're at Manito Ahbee and you think, you know, we need a bigger venue, right? Literally nowhere to sit, so we found a place behind the bleachers, and that's kind of where we posted up. This is where my little man was dancing off. A lot of chilling in the back, you know, and we didn't, you know, sometimes you don't get to see what's going on at the powwow because it's you're in the back, but literally there's no place. You know, there was one situation where, you know, I seen people getting yelled at, arguments because they had their blankets down, you know, like, hey, this is my spot. We got to be nicer to each other out there, you know. I know we all want a really good place to sit, but we all got to figure that out somehow. Then I got to meet up with some friends, some homies. You know, it was cool to see my brother James Jones. It was good to see I did an interview, if you guys didn't see that, with Tony Tusick. He's an artist, a rapper. You know, he does a lot of shows, he goes to communities, but he really turned his life around from, you know, the hood life, being in gangs, drugs and alcohol, to like living a good life through powwow, and this is what it's all about, right? So I got to sit down with him. That link is just below here if you want to go listen to that interview. But going out there, you know, I was dancing. Now here's the thing, senior adults, this is my argument, senior adults, you know, you go to 54 to 18, the middle of that is 36, 35, 36. Why are you putting seniors at 40? You know, that's not an even split, right? I get it if you're like 45, 40, you know, you don't want to be dancing with a 36-year-old, but that's the even split in between there. Maybe we need to split that up even more. I have no idea, but anyway, senior adults was 40 plus. I'm 39. I'll be 40 in July. So here I am. I'm the oldest, dancing with all these young guys. These young guys, they move fast, boom, 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 jumping up really high, doing all these things. And here I am, old man, you know, sore, waking up like, oh man, my back hurts. I don't know if I could dance. But, you know, went out there and did my best. And I'm starting to get my legs back. I'm starting to get my arms back. The moves are coming back. It's early in the season. So far, I went to a winter powwow. Then I did Regina. This is Winnipeg, 3 powwows. You know, got to watch my sons dance. They were jamming out. They did good. And it was such a blast being at Manito Ahbee.
He's like, I did, bro.
I made that.
I was like, bro.
Content's coming up. One song, feel happy about that. Gonna jam out the best that I could. And we're gonna see how we do this weekend here at Manito Ahbee. It's probably like Canada's largest powwow.
Men, fancy war bustle, I tell ya, they could run one of them.
Spirit Sands. That was a tricky song. I ain't gonna lie, you got me. Right now my throat is sore. It's hard to breathe. My legs are heavy. But starting to feel better out there. Especially compared to Regina Powwow. And now, wait for the results.
Have been asked to render an honor song for my nephew.
Please welcome board of governor members now. For coming over here and making that happen. The
language, identity. We're very proud of this young man. Since a young age, he's been gifted the responsibility of being an older brother.
How'd you feel being the head man?
It was awesome. Really good experience.
Nice. What is your biggest takeaway?
You know how hard like the head staff works.
There's
It's
our
tiring.
consolation winner.
I'm sore, so it's hard work.
Any advice for the next young head man?
You know, just be grateful.
Identity.
You know, don't take it for granted, and you know, learn as much as you can from it.
Awesome.
Takes now for you boys fancy. Winning fifth place, after number 2237, Harry Lawson. Winning fourth place, after number 1018, Ari Ritzwing. Winning third place, after 2414, Trey Brown. And your second place winner goes to after 1134, Jet Henry. And your champion in the junior boys fancy goes to after number 2181. Champion Bison, you're the champion.
Boys Fancy, fifth place, after number 2091, Sage Crow. Fourth place, after 1182, the Finchwing. Third place, after number 2092, Jazz Beaches. Second place, after number 1187, Liam Yazzie the second. After champion Team Boys Fancy, after 2086, with Yashka Shawanda.
Let's see if you're a mystic. What is your real life prediction of Junior Men's Fancy? There's 5 places.
Like who's placing? I'm gonna say
Any order, it doesn't matter.
any order.
Who are those 5 then?
Me? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
No excuses. Please
me, you,
bring your
Buster,
numbers. They're gonna turn you down at the pay window
David,
if you don't bring your number.
and I'd probably have to say Mitchell or Daryl Hill Jr.
We'll see how it plays out.
All right, we're going over to the junior men's fancy, junior men's category. Winning fifth place, that's number 2370, Font Garcia. Winning fourth place, that's number 1215, David Cleveland. Winning third place, that's number 2771, Buster Cleveland. Second place winner goes to 1249, Patrick Metzwing. And your champion in the junior men's fantasy goes to that number 3093.
Second place.
Mitchell Baker, you're a champion.
Second place.
That travels, man. Have a good trip to Germany. Yeah, I will.
Have fun over there, bro. This is the end of the powwow. This is how it is. This is how the end of the powwow is. Basically, everybody's leaving. The vibe starts dwindling, and everyone starts heading home. Like me. Peace out. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I plan to do more like this, sharing you my experience with my family, traveling all over powwow country, doing powwows. Let's get this to 300 likes. Hit that like button, subscribe, and watch this video right here if you want to see more. We'll see ya.